is the evolution of Percy Jackson if he were played by Tom Holland. Next up we have... What do we have? Who is this? It clearly doesn't know what Val Grace is. This is supposed to be Jason and Piper, the best moments in the Trials of Apollo! And Grover is a Muppet! Hello guys and welcome to another video. I have been a YouTuber for over 5 years now, and recently YouTube just added a new tab where you can type in a general video idea and AI will then generate different video ideas based on your initial concept with titles, thumbnails, and even an outline of the story beats in the video. Now, I have never been a fan of AI. Maybe it's finally time for me to give AI a try. So that's exactly what we're doing today. I gave it a couple of prompts and I asked it to generate different Percy Jackson related video ideas for us. I started with a pretty basic prompt talking about the Percy Jackson books, and this is the first thing that I got. If that's supposed to be Percy, he has 3 arms. And the text says, responding to homo of Percy, Soy, and G. Jackson. And then Percy's saying, Wachtige Briefs and Kindness. My favorite Percy Jackson quote. Next up, we have this very generic Percy Jackson / fantasy book vibes. Like, what is this? Obviously, that's Percy in the middle, trying to hold a weird weapon, but his hand is not even holding it. It's behind his hand. I love this. This girl on the bottom left is holding the bottom of a sword, and then this other guy on top of her, he's holding the sword as well. Her stance is also great. She's only wearing one flip-flop. We have a lot of random people here. Is that supposed to be Annabeth? But she has weird ears. And then this dryad, naiad person in the back. I don't look at this and think Percy Jackson, except for the fact that this guy is wearing orange and it kind of looks like it says Percy on the shirt. No, this is not giving Heroes of Olympus. Next up, this one isn't that bad. That kind of looks like Percy on the cover, but then everything else just doesn't make sense. No, I don't think I would use this for a thumbnail. This could be Percy Jackson related. It's trying to say words here, or at least letters. I have yet to come across a Percy Jackson AI generated picture where Percy has both black hair and green eyes. And the video idea for this is Nico D'Angelo bisexual or gay? Exploring character identity in Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Nico D'Angelo's sexuality has been a topic of debate among Percy Jackson fans. And apparently my subscribers would really love this video idea. This is so stupid because there's never been a question about Nico being bisexual or gay. He comes out as gay. He's gay. I'm sorry, one day Rick Riordan woke up and decided to go up to Nico and say, "You are gay!" And that's how it is, and that's how it's been since the... Oh my god, I can't believe I pointed at the right book. This is insane. I have been doing this for way too long. Then I guess that's Nico in the cover, and I'm sorry, but Nico's supposed to be deadly pale. That does not scream deadly pale. This is the evolution of Percy Jackson if he were played by Tom Holland. And I'm guessing a lot of people back in the day when he was chosen to be Spider-Man would have jumped on that casting. I'm loving the sandals look. What are those? At least they try to keep his color palette consistent. I love the weird sword that the one on the very right is holding that just ends with a stick. Looks like a Percy evolution, but besides the hair on the fourth one, nothing really changes. And this one would be Percy Jackson's outfit evolution from Camp Half-Blood to Disney+. In fact, this would be a very, very boring idea because if you've read the books, you know that Percy mostly wears his orange Camp Half-Blood shirt. And if you've seen the TV show, you know that besides the flashbacks and when Percy is at school or with Sally, he wears the same t-shirt and shirt combo for the whole season. Next up, we have this, which is probably the most credible image of all. The people in the back look like they're in a convention. This could be like taken from a real picture, and they look like they're wearing togas, so that makes sense with the Greek aspect of it all. And then on the table, we have like a deity holding a lance. Then we have a plate of blue cookies, which look surprisingly radioactively blue and very fluffy. And here is the video idea, a day in the life of a Percy Jackson fan, because you know, a typical day for us is going to a Greek mythology / history / fiction convention and eating blue cookies. We showcase the joy of being in the fandom. Apparently you guys would love this video, so let me know if you want me to make that. Next up, we have the Harry Potter versus Percy Jackson debate. Who would win, or which series has the better romance? Oh my god, that is probably not the prompt that I put in here. Let me know down below which series has the better romance. I'm sorry, that's not even a debate. It's not even a question. Percy and Annabeth are the thing in the Percy Jackson series. Ginny's not even a blip on the radar in terms of Harry Potter. If anything, Harry is way more in love with Ron Weasley. That's right, I said it. I love this. Percy here has brown hair and brown eyes and half a cape that just disappears behind him. Harry Potter is actually pretty spot on. His hair, his eyes, and he's in Hogwarts colors. So from this, I'm getting that the AI has way more information on the Harry Potter world than on Percy Jackson, which makes sense due to the popularity of both the books and the movies. This is probably one of the better ones we've seen, which is sad. It really is. Next up, we have more Percy, I guess, technically, versus Harry Potter. We have the Phoenix in the middle and a pretty good looking Harry Potter, except he has like 2 ties and also 2 gigantic wands. One of them he's brandishing like it's a sword. Percy has really anime-esque kind of hair and a weird looking sword. Also, once again, he is wearing sandals and he kind of has like a lightning thief motif going on. Why can they never get Percy right? I'm so sorry. And it's very weird that behind Percy we get the red motif and behind Harry we get the blue. How did you mix it up that badly? Next up we have... what do we have? There's the Phoenix, and then I guess that could be Percy if he were a centaur, kind of like a basilisk in the bottom. This does not make sense. So let's figure out what prompt this is. Ranking Percy Jackson and Harry Potter magical creatures. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? If you say so, because I've never seen any of those in those books. Next up, we have another classic, Harry versus Percy Jackson. Okay, this is the most Percy has ever looked in these. I love that he's holding the trident completely wrong, but at least his hand looks like it's controlling the wave. Harry's tie just like comes out of his shoulder and he is dual wielding those wands. Also, his scar looks kind of crazy because it's divided on 2, so it looks like someone just stabbed him in the forehead twice. But beggars can't be choosers. Next up, we have Percy and Annabeth. So I guess this is the start of the percabeth prompts. Honestly, this doesn't look too bad, except for the fact that they're not looking into each other's eyes. They're both wearing togas. Annabeth has blonde hair. Percy kind of looks like he has hazel eyes, but that's close enough. Annabeth's hair is in a ponytail. It doesn't look like any of them have extra appendages, so I feel like we kind of won. Next up, we have, you know, I want to say, I don't know what this is. So I asked for percabeth and this is what I got, and I'm kind of confused. Why is Percy a redhead? Did the AI get confused with Percy Weasley? Once again, we're getting an example of weird swords. We have all kind of swords here. This is them twice, but at least Annabeth's hair is correct. And it says Percy iste and tus ubi Annabeth. Next up, we have Percy and, oh my god, is that Calypso? We have Percy and Calypso, it looks like. He's whispering to her, then Percy grew a braid down there and he's leaving her. I don't know, because if this is supposed to be Percy and Annabeth, then you got it completely wrong. But the main picture in the middle is giving Percy and Calypso. I don't know what he's doing in the boats, but maybe this is just his life if he had stayed in Ogygia and had like 4 children with Calypso. If so, skip. Oh my god, no! I got it completely wrong. It's the evolution of Percy and Annabeth's dynamic. Of course, the relationship between Percy and Annabeth is one of the most beloved in the Percy Jackson universe. This video explores the evolution of their dynamic. Does it? Does it? I think not. Next up, we have the different books in the Percy Jackson series, which, as we all know, is Red-Headed Percy, Black-Headed Percy, Percy with a Skirt, and Gender-Bent Percy. Those are my 4 favorite books in the Percy Jackson universe. The second one's called Perry of Monsters Top 54 Moments. And the next one is Perry of Annabeth. And the last one is The Last Olympus, my favorite Percy Jackson books of all time. I kind of love the Percy Jackson Gender-Bent one. But of course, she's wearing boots and her toes are out in the air because they just love giving them sandals. The next thing we have is Heroes of Olympus Unpopular Opinions. And I'm pretty sure you could not tell that from the freaking picture. I think it just confused Heroes of Olympus with literal Heroes of Olympus. It was just like, this is an abstract concept that you wanted me to put into a picture. It did not take into account that it's an actual book series with an actual aesthetic and actual characters. So skip the next one for the Heroes of Olympus. Oh, book club. Is Trio and World's Best Union. The Heroes of Olympus, a book club. I do love the guy in the middle who has 3 arms. And honestly, this monster to the bottom right is giving nightmare fuel. The next prompt that I wanted to try was Val Grace, because it's a ship that you all have been hounding me about for years now, and I was like, let's see if it knows about the existence of Val Grace, because usually people don't know. So this kind of looks like their love child, does it not? Between Jason and Leo. Who is this? It clearly doesn't know what Val Grace is. But I'm sorry, who are you? And what are you doing here? The next Val Grace one we have is Val Grace ships. Rani, King, Val Grace ships. That could be Jason and that could be Leo, and then I don't know who all the other people are, why they're acting like that, but at least that person has fire in their hands. So the AI is kind of confused, but it kind of knows some of the aspects that should be in here.
It is so bad, I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible. So I give you a 1.
A 1 out of 10. Next up, we have more percabeth. We have Percy and Annabeth looking cute. Could this be Camp Half-Blood? They never get Percy's hair or eyes right. I don't know why they always make Annabeth blonde, except for that one time. But Percy always has brown hair and brown eyes. I'm very confused about this one, so let me just check the prompt real quick because I'm scared. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is supposed to be Jason and Piper, the best moments in the Trials of Apollo. No. Oh my god. How could you choose Jason and Piper to talk about the best moments in the Trials of Apollo? I'm sorry, spoiler alert, but if you know, you know. They both show up in the 3rd book of the Trials of Apollo, called The Burning Maze. And not only are they broken up in that book from the start, but Jason famously dies in that book. So I can't believe it's their best moments. They don't have any moments, and none of them are good. So why would you do this? Why would you do this, AI? That's just mean. Then we have Percy Jackson fan edits and theories. This is not too bad. This is me if I had any friends to talk about theories or edits with. People dressed as, I'm guessing, demigods, but I don't know what those weapons are supposed to be. I like this gigantic screen. It looks like they're in a very futuristic place to talk about fan theories. Then we have reacting to Percy Jackson Instagram reels from new readers. And we have like a weird shark/rabbit hybrid, a girl with floating horns, and a guy with a weird carved stick. Next up, we have another one where if you look at the picture, you will not guess the title that it comes with. Percy Jackson TikToks I can't believe exist. Percy Jackson TikToks are taking over the internet, and some of them are absolutely wild. Get ready to laugh, cringe, and maybe even be a little bit shocked as we react to the most, I guess, unbelievable Percy Jackson TikToks. I don't know the budget that TikTokers have, but I believe that they could not make any of these TikToks. Most of them are underwater or involve deities. So of course we've talked about Percy versus Harry Potter. The next versus that we have to talk about is Percy and Jason. Choosing versus sides versus. We have Percy, who has a very water nymph kind of ear going on. Normal looking trident. He has a shirt that kind of ties into a cape on his shoulder, and also once again blue eyes. And then Jason could kind of look like Jason, but he looks very mean, and he has a very short sword that is honestly giving Percy vibes. And if you were gonna choose a color palette from the back, it would be orange versus purple, or at least blue versus purple. Next up, we have two people who don't look like Jason and Percy. Specifically Percy, once again. You can't wear an orange toga over an orange shirt. That just is not the look. And Jason is dual wielding with a gigantic anime-esque sword, so good luck with that. This one is probably the most accurate we've seen so far. They just love giving them these sashes, and oh no, I just noticed Jason has green eyes and Percy has brown eyes. I guess the orange shirt would make sense on Jason. It would be so much easier to give the orange shirt to Percy, or at least make Percy wear a purple shirt. That way it ties it together. And next up we have Jason and Percy cooking or baking. It looks like Jason is whisking some dough or some eggs, and I don't know. It looks like Percy's spooning some beans. Maybe this is when they decide to have a joint cooking channel. Percy versus Jason. Who would win a cooking competition? The culinary skills of Percy Jackson and Jason Grace are put to the test in a friendly competition, and apparently you guys would love this video. I'm sorry, how on earth am I supposed to make this video? Do I have to contact both Percy and Jason and then make them have a cooking competition? Because I don't know if you're aware, AI, but they are fictional characters. I don't have their number. The AI is being like,
what would happen if you just called Taylor up?
I can't just call them up. They don't exist. And if they did, they couldn't come to Europe anyway. So thanks for nothing. Next up, I was like, I'm going to step out of the Percy Jackson zone and go into a bit of the other books in the series, specifically the non-Percy Jackson related ones. So I was like, Magnus Chase, I love him. Let's try to generate something. And I think the only thing it knows about Magnus Chase is that he's gay or that he's LGBT, because it was like gay background. He has a sword. He got Jack right. He is famously blonde. No, he's missing like half of his body in the one in the middle, and like has an energy ball in his hand. So no, he can't do that either. And this would be Magnus Chase's best character moments. The most memorable thing about him, I guess, is that he is on the spectrum, the gay one. So then I was like, well, that was a fail. Let me try with the Kane Chronicles, and I got this, which I guess kinda could work, but also what the hell is that thing? They look like aliens down there. That girl is holding 4 swords in her hand. What is she doing? And also I don't see Sadie anywhere, or Carter for that matter. And this would be how the Kane Chronicles subverted Percy Jackson tropes. Well, that's a lie, because it didn't. So you're lying to me on all fronts. This is neither the Kane Chronicles, and the Kane Chronicles did not subvert the tropes. The things that would be popular amongst you guys are always tripping me up, so you have to have better taste. This is another Kane Chronicles one, so they got kind of like the dress part correctly, but why is it so technology heavy? I know a lot of people mix Egyptian stuff with like aliens, but not in this case, okay? And everyone looks like a girl here, so I'm sorry, Carter, you are not represented, and also Sadie isn't. This just looks like several Sias. Then I was like, let's do Percy Jackson adaptations, and this is Percy Jackson musical 8 ebook versus what changed. And here we have one Percy Jackson and one Tom Holland, and then random characters in the background, and this does not scream Percy Jackson original versus adaptation to me. If it wasn't for the verses, I would not know what this meant. The Percy Jackson behind the Magnus. And this apparently is what the Percy Jackson musical looked like. I was there, I watched it in London, and I can confirm it's not what it looked like at all, except that that's exactly what it looked like. If we're talking about songs in the musical, this is me ranking every song Sorg in Tal. And we have very well-known titles like Magnus, or Seer Ports Begurk, or Search Aaron, or even Watch Glur Sobers. You know, some of my favorite Percy Jackson the musical songs. The next prompt, well, I'll just let you guys take a look at it and try to guess. That looks like Percy Jackson, and then I honestly don't know. Like, I've been looking at this for hours, and I still don't know. Percy Jackson show, the biggest changes from the books. I guess that we didn't have this weird floating guy with 3 arms whose head is in a bucket. I don't know. Honestly, I'm glad that we got that changed, because that's disturbing. Then we have this, and apparently it's talking about the Percy Jackson show casting. Did they get it right? Is this supposed to be like the casting or the Percy Jackson show? Because that looks like Namor the Submariner. I don't know why they all have pointy ears. It kind of missed the point about what Percy Jackson is about. Either way, I don't know what all the adults are doing here, looking very, very buff, but it's just Percy and his harem of women. So I guess that's what they got wrong. And since Sea of Monsters, the season 2 is coming out, I was like, let's try to do season 2 content. And oh my god, this is what we got. I don't know who any of these people are or why they're being attacked by all these weird sea creatures, because that never happens. And also, what the hell is going on with this lamps that Percy Jackson has? Next up, we have Percy looking quite badass on a wooden ship, a weird water deity Cyclops behind him, and he's just completely ignoring it. Unfortunately, this is one of the only instances where Percy has correct eye color and hair color, so that was kind of wasted. If we're talking adaptations, this is a beautiful example of what it looked like in the books and then what it looked like in the show. So the books were like outside water, and in the show it's just like a cavern. Everything is underground. So comparing the Percy Jackson show to the books, then I thought, why not? Season 3 is also coming out sometime in the near or far future. So let's do Percy Jackson season 3 thumbnail. And it was like, Percy Jackson season 3, what we know so far. And apparently what we know is that we're gonna get Percy, we're gonna get someone else. I guess that could be Grover. I don't know who that third person is. And then we're gonna get a tiny woman with wings in the background. But she's gonna have red hair, so maybe that's a weird interpretation of Rachel, who we're actually probably not gonna get in season 3. And then this is also season 3. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what this means. I don't know why that person is missing a head. Doesn't mean anything to me. AI, this is the epitome of it. What the actual Once again, this means nothing. Let's go through a montage of pictures that AI generated for me to use as my thumbnails that mean nothing. Ah, beautiful. Also, that's just a floating arm with a weird spear sword thing. Again, ranking every single character in the Percy Jackson universe, and Percy could be on there twice. Annabeth doesn't have eyes, and there's 100 people here that are not in the show, and one of them looks like a lion, and the other one definitely looks too old to be in Camp Half-Blood. Have you ever wondered what the Percy Jackson series would look like if it was set in modern times? Wonder no more. This is what it looks like. You have to take into account that the Percy Jackson books are already set in modern times. So I don't know, is this if it was set in Tokyo or in a subway station with a centaur with way too many legs and also a horse's head? What do you mean? This is Camp Half-Blood if it was literally an open concept. So they just cut through the middle of a cabin, put both walls to the sides, and then added another cabin. I'm guessing this is Camp Half-Blood if someone did it on Minecraft, which is honestly kind of cool. This is the Half-Blood Camp Blood Full Fight a Culinary Challenge. Then we get to the classics, you know, like Percy versus Annabeth, where Percy has his arm backward and Annabeth is carrying a sword and a pretty cool braid that's mostly impossible. Then we have Percy and Annabeth looking menacing, both having wrong eye colors, and Annabeth has a quiver for some reason. We have more dramatic ones where Percy looks like he's way too old for Annabeth and half his sword is transparent. Annabeth is kind of giving Lara Croft. Then we have Percy holding his trident weirdly behind his back, a weird weapon that stops halfway through, and Annabeth once again dual wielding with a very cool hairstyle. Then we have both Annabeth and Percy again, but they are not fighting this time. It's not a versus, it's a ranking of the most romantic, the odium chunse monster Tio. And one of them is missing a head there, so that one kind of looks correct. Annabeth's ass is almost exposed. They're kind of holding a rope between their hands. So yeah, this is officially my favorite Percabeth drawing of all time. No one's ever done it better. Then I was like, what is the most iconic Percabeth moment of all time? It has to be the best underwater kiss of all time. So I was like, give me that. And it tried. Honestly, I kind of like the Annabeth fit. It got Percy's hair color correct, but Annabeth just turned into a redhead. And also, Percy, what are those? At this point, who are these people? Who are these people? We're getting further and further from the facts. Why is he holding her like that? And honestly, why does Annabeth have 3 legs but only 1 arm? Perfect, now we have Percabeth but in Tartarus and also clasping hands in a really weird way. At least we got kind of the colors correct this time. More Percabeth in Tartarus and Annabeth's arm just looks so weird. More Percabeth in Tartarus. Honestly, this one doesn't look that bad, but imagine if you fell to Tartarus and that was the outfit you were wearing. I'm so sorry, Annabeth, that is so not the outfit that you want to be wearing. And she's also only holding a batoon, so not ideal. Here we go again, and this time they have chains and also magical powers like Doctor Strange, and they both have really funny looks on their faces. I'm glad that's not what actually happened in Tartarus or what they were wearing. This one, honestly, is pretty cool if you don't take into account that weird smidged person over there and that Percy has a flaming sword, but overall I do really like this color scheme, so they probably stole this from an artist. So after doing Percy and Jason, Percy and Harry Potter, and Percy and Annabeth, I was like, well, why don't we give some love to Percy and Grover? And AI was like, this is why, because this is what I'm gonna give you. Percy and Grover, the ultimate best friend duo, and Percy's a little kid and Grover is a Muppet. The unwavering friendship of Percy Jackson and Grover Underwood is explored in detail. You'll learn how their bond transcends demigod battles and dangerous quests. Okay, like that I agree with. But why is Grover a Muppet? I can't. Then we have unpacking the dynamic Percy and Grover's relationship. What even are these creatures? Who are you people? Who are you? I'm broken. I can't. Percy's Grover calls. Then I guess I was like, let's do something really hyper specific for my profile. And I was like, I like Percy Jackson and I'm asexual. And it was like, well, this is a video idea. Reading every Percy Jackson book in 24 hours with my asexual friends. And I guess in this universe, I have at least 7 asexual friends, which is honestly, I wish. I don't even have the one. So this is like my fantasy world. Reading every Jackson book in 245, my with asexual friends. This is so random. Let me just get my group of 8 asexual friends together and let's just all get together for 24 hours to read all 5 Percy Jackson books. That honestly sounds like a blast. And apparently you guys would love it, so I'm confused. That could honestly look like me, the girl in the middle, but why do we have like 30 Percy Jackson books and why are we also looking at computers? That doesn't seem very productive. I guess we could also read Percy Jackson books in 24 hours and review them live, me with my non-asexual friends this time. Now this is a great thumbnail idea for the next time I read a book called My Boyfriend Reads Percy Jackson, 24 hours and reacts. Let me just recreate this. Obviously I don't have that book because thankfully it doesn't exist. I know I make faces for my thumbnails, but none of them are as bad as this, right? Please let me know. Then I was like, let's do a classic booktuber one. Let's do a challenge video. And it was like, yeah, you can do the Percy Jackson book bingo challenge. A fun and challenging bingo card is created using iconic moments, characters, and themes from the Percy Jackson series. I don't know how that would work, but this would be the thumbnail. Camp the Half-Blood. Percy Bingo Book Halblo Challenge. I don't know. And then the AI was like, bingo isn't enough of a challenge. Let's do another culinary cooking competition. So now we have the Percy Jackson Camp Half-Blood Cooking Challenge. Again, I understand that this could be a video idea if these were real people, but they are fictional characters. And I think you know that because you have shown books several times on your thumbnails. How am I supposed to do this? And then my next prompt was roasting AI generated Percy Jackson fan art, and it did not get the hint. It really didn't, because this is what it gave me. Girl, it just roasts itself, because what the actual is this? This is kind of cute, but I'm never going to support AI generated art. And honestly, this is probably the best AI generated art that I've ever seen. Because why does Percy look so freaking distressed? Obviously, I love the colors in the background because color is the only thing that AI gets correct. He looks so distressed and also he has blue eyes. So this is a mix between book Percy and show Percy. They were like best of both worlds. And also, then the AI decided to roast itself further and it was like, can AI write better than Rick Riordan? I guess it kind of answered itself there, didn't it? And since we were already doing challenges, it was like my non-reader book challenge. The struggle is real, and then someone is on the ground with their face going through a tiny book on top of a gigantic book. And honestly, I feel like that sometimes. I really do. And of course, we have to end it on a good note, so we're gonna end it on Percy and Annabeth. And this time, the title is Percy Jackson quotes that would make Annabeth Chase roll her eyes. Annabeth Chase, the brilliant and pragmatic daughter of Athena, is known for her sharp ... and this is the thumbnail. Okay, so this is the quote that makes Annabeth Chase roll her eyes. Lees to you that wake mek awful you'll rent har eyes you'd me. And Annabeth is like, she doesn't even look like she's rolling her eyes there. You had one job. What in the hell is Percy holding in his hand? Would those 2 little stabby things really add that much? Like, you already have a full blade in the middle. You can't ask for stuff to make sense with AI, so I won't. Oh my god, that was so fun, but also kind of brain melting. It was my own fault because as soon as I saw that inspiration tab, I was like, I'm gonna have to use this because I thought it would just give me video ideas. But no, it also gave me AI generated thumbnails. And oh my god, they're just meant to be roasted. They're not meant to be enjoyed. And please, please, please don't be someone who sees that and uses that. Of course I'm gonna be using that for my own thumbnail, but it's because of the idea of the video, right? The whole thing is roasting AI art. So obviously I'm gonna use it for my thumbnail and I'm gonna make this face for it. That was intense. I lost so many brain cells. Obviously, guys, you should just support actual real life artists because they put hard work into their art and it's being stolen by AI. So you should really go do that. Please don't generate AI art. Commission art if you can, or if you can't, just there's so much art available on Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram. Just look at that. There's so many great artists, specifically in the Percy Jackson fandom. You really don't need to go out and ask AI to generate art for you, because trust me, whatever some 12-year-old is drawing right now in the room is better than whatever the hell this is. And also I got a comment a couple of weeks back saying that someone was asking AI to generate fanfics for them. Trust me, even Wattpad trash is better than that. But if you want good fanfics, go on Archive of Our Own. Trust me, it's always going to be so much better. So with that being said, please leave a like if you like this video, please. It will help me get my sanity back. Comment down below what your favorite AI generated thumbnail was. I gotta go with this one. This is just so freaking funny. And also the Muppet one for Grover. That one just killed me dead. Subscribe if you haven't already and click that bell button so you get notifications every time I post a new video. I post videos just like this, except less to do with AI normally every single week. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!